Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Motivational Monday video. This is a downstairs deep clean and I'm starting with putting a wash on, and upon editing this video I realised just how many of my videos, my clean with me videos, start with me putting a wash on. But it's just something that motivates me because 9 times out of 10 I'm still cleaning when that washing finishes, so then I can hang it out. So yeah, that's just something that I always start, so apologies if it seems like I always start there, because I do. And I'm just showing you around the downstairs. It wasn't horrendous. It would have been quite a quick pickup, to be honest, but on this day it ended up becoming more of a deep clean. I had a load of stuff sort of out in the back room. You see this rug had been moved because I was carpet cleaning it. In fact, this video was filmed directly after the unmotivated clean with me that I shared with you a few weeks ago. So I will link that in the cards above, which is why the rug is still in the conservatory. I popped something on the telly to watch whilst I was cleaning, and on this occasion I picked Alison McPhail. She's a military wife and mum in America, and I really enjoy watching her videos, so if you haven't heard of her before, I'd recommend. So popped her, this was a garage declutter. This is a really old video of both mine and hers because this was filmed back at the end of the summer. I'm rubbish at editing videos, and because I haven't really been filming anything more recently and I need to get my act together, I've gone back in the archives and found this longer video because I know a lot of you quite like watching slightly longer videos, so I've pulled out footage for this. So I started in the front room because I had already cleaned it sort of the week before or the few days before in the previous video, so it was quite a quick pickup. So it started by just dusting off the sideboards, putting the trays away from my dinner, making sure they were clean, etc. My laptop's 9 times out of 10 it's always out on the sofa because it doesn't work unless it's plugged in, so I tend to just leave it plugged in. It's also horrendously bad, so it takes 39 years to load up if it hasn't been plugged in, so it's just easier to have it there at all times. And then I moved the unit out because I realised it was really dusty behind, and then that kind of started the whole deep clean process. I thought, do you know what, I'm going to pull the sofa out while I'm off, and that's how this quick speed clean with me ended up becoming a proper deep clean. So this is me just moving all of the furniture out of the way, and you'll see the dog will follow me everywhere I go in this video. And then the first thing I did was just sort of clean the mirror and the floor behind the sofa.
Can we work it out? Only time will tell. It's gonna take a lot, 'cause we've been through hell. I can't be without you. I've tried and I failed. So can we work it out? Only time will tell. Why do you keep telling me nothing?
I did pull out this long duster that I've got from Poundland because there just seemed to be a load of dust on the walls, in the corners, on the ceiling, etc. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go for it this day. I'm going to do the picture frame, the clock, the lot. I'm going to attack everything, the top of the door frame, then gave the mirror a good clean. I normally just polish it or just use a microfiber cloth, but I went and got the glass spray and gave it an actual clean this day, and then polished it afterwards. I just find I quite like the final look of a polished mirror. And then down the side of the sofa, I am terrible for putting cans of drink because there's nothing I can reach, and there were loads and loads of scratches on the walls, so I just went and got this little bit of paint, which is, what is it in this room? That's Goose Down, that's Dulux Goose Down, and I just decided to touch up the wall because what you'll notice in this video is the conservatory is blue and the front room is grey. We used to have it grey in here and it just became too dark, so we've replaced it with blue, but I was halfway through doing that when I was filming this clean with me, so that's why our front room is a little bit odd. But what I do, so I originally had a 5-litre tub of this paint. There was obviously only a little bit left. I have these little, I don't know what they are, well they're just little storage containers with lids, and what I do is I put a sandwich bag inside and pour the leftover paint into it, so then it just stores better than having 5-litre kettles. They're just these really small pots, and then if ever I need to touch up the walls, they're really small to just bring in, open up and do so. So I just had a look across the wall and had a thought, is there anywhere else that might need a touch up? I used a magic eraser around the light switch because no matter how clean you are, you will always find that there are little marks around the light switches, so I always try and bear that in mind when I'm cleaning. Then I took the polish and gave the skirting boards a good clean. Considering the sofa, like nothing goes behind the sofa, it's amazing how much dust settles down here. So I gave them a proper clean, and then rather than get the mop out to do the floor here, I decided to just get a minky and some floor cleaner in a bowl and clean the floor that way. And I cannot believe how dirty the floor was. As I say, considering the sofa is here all of the time, and every time I pull the sofa out, I mop the floor and then push the sofa back. So considering that, I could not believe the colour of the water when I'd finished this little bit. And apologise if you hear loads of noises at the moment. The dog will not leave me alone while I'm trying to film this voiceover. So yeah, there's the dirty water, and as you saw, it was just the area behind the sofa. I could not believe it. So I ended up doing the entire room like that. Pulled off all of the cushions off of the sofa. Matt and I have a really, really terrible habit of eating on the sofa using those trays. We really need to eat at the dining table much more. But we don't, and then it ends up being so many crumbs in between the cushions. So I thought, do you know what, while it's all out, I'm going to give it a good old hoover and a clean. So that's what I did next.
No one else makes me feel this way. Don't know what you do. Hold my hand, could you hold my hand? Look me in the eyes. You and me, yeah, that's all I need, and I'll be alright. I'll be right here. I swear that I'll stay here with you. Hold me closer. I wanna stay here with you.
Once I'd pushed the sofa back into position, I took this little brush that I've got. It was a Poundland brush. It was like a pound. And just brushed off all of the cushions. But what I did is I put them back in a different place to where I'd taken them off, and tried to flip them over, turn them around, etc. Just because Matt and I sit in the same two seats, and then we find that those two are flatter than the rest of the sofa, so I have to keep sort of turning them around to try and make sure the cushions are used at the same amount, except for this end one. And then our lamp on the side had been knocked off and snapped, so I just took my E6000, which I tend to use for craft projects, and just pushed the dog out of the way because obviously I'm using permanent glue, and took some E6000 to replace this and fix it. I bought these lamps in Homebase before we'd even moved out. They've gone up so much in price, so I really did not want to have to replace it. I think we'd paid £35 and they're 60 or something now. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I really didn't want to have to replace it. Chester chewed through the cable of the other one as well, but luckily Matt's dad was able to fix that. Matt loves these because he says they remind him of lightsabers, so that's why we've got them. And then I just did the same thing with the back cushions. Took the brush, gave them a brush off, but then put them back in a slightly different order, so that again they're being used a similar amount of as the bottom cushions.
Be who you are and you'll be enough. If you're giving me your love, giving me your love, all that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side.
This is the pet-friendly Febreze, which I put liberally across the sofa. I can never get it anymore, so we just have to use regular ones. But then I decided to have a sit down because I felt exhausted already, and the dog came and laid on me, and look how tired he is. He's so sleepy. So we just sat on the little swivel armchair and had a little cuddle for a while. You can see he just wants to go to sleep. He's such a needy little thing. Look, as soon as I stop stroking him, he's whacking me to have some more strokes. So we laid and we had a little cuddle for a little while before I carried on. But eventually all good things have to come to an end, and then I carried on with the next little unit, the other side of the sofa, and you'll just see it's rinse and repeat, polish, sweep, mop. Well, hand mop.
thinking about the days we used to shine when we were young. I told you that we should start a band and reach for the sky.
So because this was ages ago, you'll notice that we don't have the dog's cage here, because he wasn't caged at the time, but then he kept weeing on the furniture. He was then caged because he had surgery, but he's quite happy in the cage when we're at work, so we ended up keeping it. So that's why the front room looks a bit different. But where it is at the moment, now that it's becoming summer again, the sun's on that area, so we might have to change that. I took some neat Zaflora. I couldn't see what scent it was, I'm sure you could, but I'm watching this on a little thumbnail. And I just literally wiped the neat Zaflora over the radiator just to clean it up a little bit, but also then when the radiator is ever used, then hopefully you'll get a little bit of the scent. And then I just sort of carried on sweeping across this floor, and then here I go, cleaning it as best as I can. And as I say, as long and slow as a process as this was, I felt like our floor was absolutely super clean. So whilst I'm off at Easter this year, which is when I'm filming this voiceover, then I think I'm going to do the same thing again, because this was, I want to say, August, and obviously we mop our floor all the time, but I haven't sort of hand cleaned our floor since this one, so I think I'm going to do that again this week.
I'm just not tired. I can hear the raindrops falling. It's cold outside, and I kinda feel like calling, but it's too late now. I just miss you. I just miss you.
If you're wondering why I'm using a black glove, I didn't have a clue where my rubber gloves were, but I didn't want to keep putting my hand in the floor cleaning solution. I then got a call from my best friends, and they came over that afternoon, so I stopped cleaning at that point. And then this is the following day. So Matt and I had gone out for dinner with his parents the night before, which is why my hair is now down. And yeah, just started by clearing off the table. So if I remember rightly, this is a mixture of a few bits from school, of like school stuff that didn't really have a home, but mostly packages, rubbish, just stuff that needed to be put away properly, but I just hadn't done yet. And some orders, like I'd ordered the manual for D&D, so I'm just getting rid of the box that came in, etc. So the first thing I did was just take some time to clear off the table, and you'll notice that I'm putting quite a lot of stuff in that blue shopping bag at the end. For regulars of my channel, you'll probably be bored of me saying this, but I don't do the take it there now method because I'm too easily distracted, and I hate finding one thing, taking it to where it needs to live, and coming back and then doing that 59 million times. I just end up getting really frustrated. So what I tend to do is anything that doesn't belong in the room that I'm focusing on goes in a bag, and then when I sort of move on to the next room, if there's anything from that room, I can take it out that bag. But 9 times out of 10, I tend to leave the bags till last and then just put everything away all at the end. But I tried once. I tried doing sort of, you pick up something and you think, oh, this belongs in the kitchen, and then you find another thing, this belongs in the bathroom, etc. But I just felt like it was taking way too long. Matt had just come home. I think he'd been at golf with his friends at this point, and he's always being silly and trying to stop me from doing what I was doing, which is what he was doing there. We weren't having an actual fight, although it looked like that, sped up. But yeah, I just find if I have loads and loads of stuff that needs to go away, then sometimes what I do is have more than one bag. So I'll have a bag for the bedroom, say, a bag for stuff that needs to be put away in the craft room, whatever. I just kind of separate it as I go. But you'll see by doing that, I was able to clear the table much quicker than if I'd constantly been taking individual items. You're probably wondering why my sideboard is part grey, part white. It was a grey sideboard. I decided that it would look better white. So I'd only just started painting. One of the next videos you will see will be the sort of the decorating process of this room. I have all the footage for that. I think I might edit that for next week's video. So if you're not already subscribed, then I recommend that you are, so that you can see that video when it comes up next week. I'd been bought loads of flowers at the end of term, and they'd been there for a little while, but what I did was took out any that were dead, and then tried to kind of make a bunch with any that was still alright, because within some of the bunches there was a mixture of flowers that were okay and flowers that weren't, so I didn't want to chuck the good ones away, so I sort of just made a mismatch set, to be honest. And then took all the vases out to the kitchen to be cleaned.
Here he goes, oh, here he goes, oh, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes, with his humble lack and everlasting ego. Dry. Do you know I'm looking, and I can't help but smile.
Whenever I've sort of cleaned through into the conservatory, I always like to light a candle here, just to get a bit of fragrance going and just to make the home smell really nice. Sometimes I have a little candle on this unit here as well, sometimes I don't. On this occasion I did. I had one of these little airwick ones, but as I'm cleaning I just like to have those sort of really nice scents fill in the room after I've cleaned.
Together, if I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. 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 As you sleep, you don't know I'm looking. With you everything's complete. Do you know how much I love you? I put your favorite song on just to wake you up. When I dance around, I can't help but feeling I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm if I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. Forever. Forever.
So yeah, this is the blue that we started painting our front room. It sort of made me think of like the blue from Santorini, which was our favourite holiday ever. I'm still not sure on it. I did wonder whether we should have just had the whole room pale grey, but Matt really wanted like a pop of colour. So you have to let me know, although it's done now. It's blue. The whole room's now finished. Well, the furniture's not all white, but the painting's done, but you'll have to let me know what your opinion is of it. I prefer it to the dark grey. The dark grey was just a bit too, there was too many shades of grey in this front room, so I didn't particularly like that. So the blue is a bit brighter, a bit, I don't know how to put it. Has a bit more personality, I suppose, than just grey everywhere. But yeah, with some of the furniture still being grey, it hasn't quite given the full effect that we want. So yeah, then it's just moved into the front room, which as I cleaned the conservatory, more stuff was being dumped in the front room. It's like a never-ending cycle. I don't think it helps that our downstairs is quite open plan. Obviously, other than the kitchen, which is separate, this is all one room. So I feel like sometimes when things need to be put away, they all just get brought into here, and we don't have like that kind of cozy spot. So another video that's going to be coming up is we've been redoing Matt's room. So not redecorating it, but just changing some of the furniture in there, putting up some curtains, kind of changing the purpose a little bit of the room. And what we've been doing is we've been going up there to watch like films and TV of an evening if we want to be a little bit cozier, because I love our downstairs and it's brilliant when we have people over, and it's brilliant being quite open plan. But if you want to sort of have like a really cozy evening, it doesn't really have that same effect. So whilst there's only the two of us and we've got 3 bedrooms, we're kind of trying to make the most of that. I'd washed the cushion covers, so just putting those back on. We've got new ones now, like a darker blue, which again will be in that decorate video. And this is where the kind of idea to have blue in the front room would come from. I had these light blue cushions that we'd got with some autumn ones. Actually, I've got these autumn cushions that have got light blue in them, so I'd got those to go with, and that's where the idea to have blue in the front room had come from. And then I'm finishing off in the kitchen. I say finishing off, there's still a fair bit of cleaning to do, but I've moved to the kitchen now. I never start in the kitchen, I always do the kitchen last. And so it does feel like it's a bit repetitive in my videos that we always end up here. Matt's the opposite. He always starts in the kitchen, but he gets really frustrated when he's cleaned the kitchen, and then when we clean other rooms and we find a glass or something that goes back into this room, and then he feels like he's sort of constantly in here, and that's the main reason I leave it till last. But I do need to be aware. Let me know if you get really bored that I tend to do the same routine when I clean. Would you like me to do that a little bit differently? I could at least try and edit it so that it's oh, that's an idea. I might still clean in that routine, because it is easier for me to do the kitchen last. But perhaps if you wanted me to, I could edit it in a different order so the kitchen wasn't always last. Let me know, and we'll see what people say. So yeah, just getting rid of the rubbish first. When I do the kitchen, I tend to do it in like passes. I'll sort of get rid of all the rubbish, then put everything away that needs to go away, then kind of do odd jobs, and then I finish with all the washing up and then clean it finally. This is my peace lily plant. It was just looking a bit worse for wear, so I was just cutting off any dead bits and then giving it a good old water. Where it was the summer, the poor thing had just shriveled up. It's still going. I've had it for years now. Every now and then I have to sort of chop off some bits, but it hasn't flowered in ages. I think it's because I'm not taking enough care of it. So constantly got leaves but never got flowers. Yeah, so here I am. I'm just gonna stop waffling. I've talked a lot in this video. I hope that's been okay. There's been a lot less music than there normally is. So I hope you haven't minded listening to me rattle on as I've been cleaning. It's been ages since I filmed an actual voiceover, because the last few videos I shared with you, I either filmed and then shared, or they were edited so long ago that the voiceovers were already done. So I feel a bit out of practice. It's been like a month, over about 6 weeks actually, since I've just sat here and recorded a voiceover. So apologies if you feel like I have talked way too much.
I fall behind every time that you're around. And it's a lie when I say that I'll be fine. And in the night I tend to lose my sight. I fade out within the moving lights. But I got time.
Oh, and I lied altogether, because we didn't actually finish in the kitchen, we finished in the hallway. I normally do the hallway on the way to the kitchen, but obviously on this day I did it slightly differently. And we just dumped a load of stuff again, because we don't really have much of a hallway. This is the only kind of surface in there. We're both really terrible for coming in and dropping keys or letters and round bottles, those kinds of things here. So just lighting some candles so that we can't put anything there without setting it alight. And then giving the hallway a bit of a hoover. I didn't know where the end of this was, and because it's such a small area, I just used the nozzle bit of the hoover rather than find the actual hoover bit. Although this hoover is now in pieces waiting to go to the tip, because it completely died on us and we've had to replace it. So that Hoover is no more, that Eufy one. And then, although I'd cleaned most of the room on my hands and knees, because this was a day or so later, I just sort of did the main walkway from the back door to the front door using our spin mop. So we've got the Veleda spin mop. I absolutely love it. We've replaced this one. This one ended up going a bit manky, and we've binned that one, and we've ended up replacing with exactly the same thing, just the sort of the newer model that's got the pouring spout. But definitely recommend the spin mops. I think they're brilliant. And then I was just showing you around our clean home, but Matt was also cooking sausage and mash for dinner. So finally finished, given the front room a deep clean and the rest of the downstairs a regular clean. Definitely need, this Easter I intend to deep clean everywhere, particularly the hallway and places like that. So but I'm going to break them up into smaller videos. And yeah, so as I say, the next video coming up on the channel will be sharing with you the final decorating that we did in the front room, because as you can see, if you've seen my more recent videos, you'll know there's now furniture in that conservatory where those decorating supplies are at the moment. So I was just putting out some placemats, because seeing as I'd hoovered off the sofa, I was like, right, we are eating at the table, we are not making a mess. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you in my next video. I hope you enjoy the Motivational Monday series. And yeah, give me a like if you did, and comment below. And I'll speak to you soon. Lots of love. Bye.